I want to talk about playing with fire, and I also want to talk about where your heart is actually at and what you actually want. I know these are kind of maybe a little bit uncomfortable conversations to have. You know, at some point it may be uncomfortable, but I think we just need to get this figured out because, you know, look at the world we're living in. Hey guys, Aaron Geezy here, bringing you the Geeztown perspective. I'm a singer-songwriter, producer from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I just put out a video recently about relationships. And since putting that out, I had a chance to have a few conversations with people, and which is what I wanted. I want to start, discussion, kind of see where people are at, and address this issue so we can avoid more situations like what happened a few weeks ago. So today I want to talk about a couple of different things. I want to talk about playing with fire, and I also want to talk about where your heart is actually at and what you actually want. Because all the best advice in the world isn't going to do someone any good that doesn't actually care about having a good marriage, a good relationship. Where's your heart at? That's a question I think you got to ask yourself and be honest about. Once you kind of figure that out, I think the next part of this will make a little bit more sense. Playing with fire. All right, think about this, guy. It's a really basic analogy. You play with fire, you get burned, right? You're taking risks, right? So I think what happens a lot of times is people don't think far enough ahead to realize that where certain actions, certain behaviors can lead. All right. I mean, here's an example, say it's really important in your life to never get a DUI, never get caught, driving while under the influence of alcohol, right? Now, there's two ways you can approach it. If that's really important to you, you can just say, well, I'll just not drink altogether. It's pretty hard to get a DUI if you just never drink alcohol, right? And then that may be too extreme for some people or whatever. But then it's like, well, where's your heart really at? Like, what do you really want? What kind of sacrifices are you willing to make? Because the other side of that is you can be someone that's always pushing the limits of how far you can go, how much you can drink and still drive and get away with it. And it's like you're just playing with fire. And in relationships, decide that you're never going to be alone in a room with someone of the opposite sex. I mean, it's pretty hard to cheat. It's pretty hard to have inappropriate things happen if you're never alone with someone that you're not supposed to be doing that kind of stuff with. You know what I mean? Because what happens sometimes is these relationships develop over time and people have these affairs, right? Well, if you just say, look, I'm never going to get that personal with people of the opposite sex, and if there is some issue, making sure that your significant other is present for that conversation and knows about it, knows what's going on, everything's out in the open, then that can be, a healthier situation too. You're keeping yourself from playing with fire. I mean, the other side of that is just see how far you can go. Oh, I can still have friends. I can still do this. Oh, you can still talk. I can still, and just pushing it how far you go. And, people say, oh, well, I can just have willpower and I'll just be strong. Well, the thing with willpower is that, everyone, even the best of us can have a really bad day. Even the best of us, say I just got willpower, I'm in the most tempting situations of all time, but I just got willpower. I know I'm good. Well, what happens when you have all kinds of different things happening in your life? Friends, drama, drama with your significant other, stuff with your job going on, and the world just feels like you're about to end. And you're in this situation where you're traveling out of town for work and you're with this person and you just kind of let this relationship develop because you just didn't care about pushing it or whatever because you got willpower. And now you're just in this really compromising, very easy to be tempted situation, and all this crazy stuff is happening. It's easy for someone to just have a bad day, and all it takes is that one time. You understand what I mean? You put these habits that may seem extreme, but you put them into place at first and it keeps you out of trouble. It keeps you even on your worst day, you're still not gonna be tempted because you're keeping yourself far away from any kind of temptation that could be there. And it comes back to, where's your heart at? Maybe that seems a little bit extreme. Maybe that seems a little bit ridiculous, but what do you really want? What's really important to you? Is it that important to have this weird little friendship relationship, or is your relationship with your significant other, that's a lifelong thing where you raise a family and you have kids and you have, your whole life built with someone, is that more important? I mean, you kind of just have to ask yourself, like, what's really more important to you. And I think when you really start looking at it, you'll realize, like, how stupid it is for these things that are like, that come and go, these little friendships or whatever that really, honestly are not that important. Honestly, you're probably not still going to be friends like 10 years from now, but you'll probably still be married 10 years from now if you put that relationship first. So a couple other things I wanted to mention here is, first of all, personally, like, I don't believe in any kind of, sexual interaction outside of marriage. A lot of people may not agree with that, whatever. I'm a Christian. That's what I believe for a lot of different reasons. One of them being biblical, obviously, but outside of that, even, I think it just emotionally makes you stupid, makes you like swept up in the moment, swept up in in your emotions and your feelings and everything else, and then it's like you're not really making as good as decisions. You can end up in really bad relationships because you're just swept up in all that, in the physical stuff and everything. So, that's kind of my reasons behind it. People can judge that, think what they want. People got their own beliefs, whatever. I don't judge anyone else, so don't judge me. And that's another habit that's just like, if I'm not in the habit ever of like just going out and meeting people and sleeping around and whatever, then once I do get married, that's just going to be one less thing. I won't have a habit to slip back into, or, And another thing I wanted to mention, okay, so people that are dating, that aren't married, you've never made a commitment. You've never told someone, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. I'm going to be with you. You've never made that commitment. So if you aren't married, like, you can leave that relationship anytime you want for whatever reason you want. You can just say, sorry, I met someone else and I like them better, and whatever, and just end it, and you can do whatever you want because you haven't made that commitment. It's not really cheating. I don't advocate for being dishonest with people. I don't advocate for leading people on or playing any kind of games or being deceptive in any way. But, I'm just saying that I think that's something, there's two sides to that, is where, yeah, you can leave anytime you want, but the other person can leave anytime they want too. So, I think a lot of people these days I see are like afraid to make the commitment, and I think you're just leaving yourself open, and then people will get mad if they're, doing this and doing that or whatever. Well, it's like, you've never made a commitment. So, what they're doing isn't cheating, because what are they cheating at? Cheating by definition is breaking the rules, right? It's going against something you said you were going to do. It's lying, it's whatever, but if you never made a commitment, then, what can you say about it, honestly? So, I don't know, that might make a lot of people upset, because it seems like there's a lot of people today that are just, living together, that are just, whatever, that don't believe in marriage or something. But I'm just saying, that's the truth. So, sorry. I know these are kind of maybe a little bit uncomfortable conversations to have, and it's kind of some stuff that might make some people upset. But guys, I think it is important to talk about. It is important to get this right. And just look around, look around at the world we live in. Look how many people are divorced that have all these like issues. It's like, at some point it may be uncomfortable, but I think we just need to get this figured out, because, look at the world we're living in, we got to do something. So that's all I got for you guys. Again, check out the resources at geeztown.com/relationships. Got a PDF for you guys with some good information, good recommendations on there. And hope this is helping you guys. Let me know what you guys think. And that's all I got. So I'll see you in the next video.